Hi, I'm Dave Clemens, and in studio with me I have Justin True. He is a hybrid athlete. Let's start there, Justin. What's a hybrid athlete? What does that mean?
I guess whatever is kind of on the agenda, I'll go for it. Whether it's swimming, biking, running, lifting, you name it, I'm there.
Have you always done that ever since you're like a little guy, or when did sports and stuff become important to you?
I played basketball throughout my whole life and never.
Because you're pretty tall.
Yeah, about 6'4". So
Okay.
Hit a great growth spurt growing up, but then once I hit high school, I was 160 pounds trying to play center. It
didn't work.
I wasn't built for it anymore. So I definitely had to find something new. Always been extremely clumsy. I roll my ankle on the painted lines.
Really?
So I knew that was not my sport. I needed to get out of that. So started moving into MMA around 17, 18 years old and did that for quite a bit. And then, I don't know, just felt the adrenaline wasn't there for me anymore. So I needed to find something bigger, more audacious, and that ended up getting me into this 200-mile, 600-mile runs, and eventually a 3,600-mile triathlon across the country.
Where'd you start at?
Off the coast of Key Largo in Florida.
And you started with a swim.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you swim to Florida or whatever. I don't understand what happened there.
For some reason, went offshore just to come back on shore 4 days later. So I swam from Key Largo to Miami.
How far is that?
That is about 50 miles, give or take.
And you don't do it all in one shot, right? Where do you stop? I mean, I don't understand how that works.
That was the ideal scenario, is going in one stop. But we just weren't allowed to go overnight, just based off what the captain wanted, his safety protocols. So I'd go throughout the day in about 4-hour segments.
Okay.
Grab a quick snack on the boat and then get back in the water and keep going.
So you got a boat kind of following along.
Yeah.
So it's pretty safe.
Sort of, yeah. Safe
Well,
as
what
going to
about
be.
sharks and stuff?
So
they've
there was-
got those in Florida, right?
Too many. I think the worst spot to do this at, it was the shark capital of the world, basically out in Florida.
Oh, wow.
So there was a shark on day 3. He was kind of coming up at me and we were playing kind of peekaboo, where I look up and I'm trying to frantically wave for the boat and I'm looking down at him and he's coming up at me, and we play that game 3 or 4 times to where I go, I can kick him. And everybody says if you hit a shark in the nose, they'll book it. No.
Did you kick him?
I eventually got close enough where I gave him a kick to the nose.
And he didn't go away.
That felt like that was the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life.
I swear, I just read 2 weeks ago that that's not true, the nose thing.
No, that's
I
probably what
should have
said.
told you. Well, except for this was back in May. Okay, so what happened?
So basically, I just felt the energy in the water of, well, he's not gone. I kicked him. I'd be pretty pissed if someone kicked me.
Yeah,
So
right?
he stayed around, and at that point, I knew this was a giant mistake. I should have made friends with him instead of enemies.
Right.
And I'm still calling the boat, and this is day 3. 3 days of swimming, and I have yet to freak out in the water. I
sure.
think this is a clear sign of, hey, something's wrong. We should get to him quick.
Volunteer.
Maybe it was only 2 or 3 minutes, but to me, it felt like
Felt
10
like
minutes.
forever.
If this
Give
was
him
a
back,
12-foot
baby.
shark, I would have been done.
Right.
And so maybe would have rethought kicking him. Would have not the move to go to.
Sure.
So eventually the boat came up to me. I was like, are you guys going to get me out of the water? They're like, oh yeah, just swim over. I'm like, I got to watch this guy.
Right.
So eventually swam over to the boat and he booked it. I gave it about 5 or 10 minutes and thought, well, I'm never going to know if he's gone. I might as well just hop back in and go.
You did, like 10 minutes later?
Yeah, it wasn't very long. I don't really know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking to jump in the water on day 1, to be
Right,
honest.
yeah,
I'm
sure.
still trying to watch back that clip of jumping in of what was I thinking?
So he didn't come back?
No.
Or she?
As far as I know. But after that point, every shadow was a shark.
You were freaking a
Yeah,
little bit.
every shadow was a shark.
Holy smokes. So you get to land, and that's when you started biking?
Yep.
And then you biked to where?
Biked from Miami all the way over to San Diego,
Wow.
which was roughly just shy of 3,000 miles.
And then you ran from San Diego to the Bay Area.
Yep, the north of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Wow.
And that was 601.
What was total miles?
Total over the whole thing?
Yeah, over the
would
whole
probably
thing.
be around 3,600, I would say.
Wow.
Going just shy of 3,000 on the bike, 601 for that. And it's hard to calculate for the ocean. You have the tide, you're being pushed around. and
You're swimming.
So most open water swimming is calculated in hours.
Gotcha. And how many hours was it?
Just about 30 hours total in the water. I got pulled out medically on day 4.
Now let's talk. You got pulled out medically?
Yeah, things weren't going well.
I almost just completely passed that. What happened?
More medical jargon than what I can analyze, but from what it looks like is my heart rate was dropping drastically, my blood pressure was skyrocketing, and my oxygen levels were very slow. I was heartbroken. After 2 years of training for this, but I didn't get to finish my swim. What do I do? Do I go continue the bike or do I just give up?
So what'd you do? You went right to the bike, or did you finish the swim?
No, so I finished my hour swim. We could take a left and go straight to the shore. So instead of going my proper route to where I wanted to land,
gotcha.
we ended up landing on Key Biscayne Bay, just started on the bike and kept going. So it obviously wasn't too bad, just swimming was exhausting and biking's a little easier.
Sure, right? Because you coast every once in a while.
Yeah. I didn't really train biking for this at all. I just thought, well, we all bike growing up. I just got to pedal a little bit longer.
Is this like a 10-speed bike that you use, or what would you use?
No, so I got.
Tell me it was a BMX bike.
No, I wish. Can you imagine the Huffies back then?
Yeah, right.
Those things. Well,
or a big wheel.
Yeah, we'll say I got hit by a car on day 2. But you picture a Huffy back then, that car is probably going to be totaled because those things were tanks.
Yeah. True.
No,
but you got hit by a car?
Yeah, I was.
Wait. So we got a shark attack, and then you get hit by a car.
Yep. You got Portuguese man of war on day 4.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Those are scary.
Those are terrifying.
A lot of people don't know much about those.
I thought first, before I jumped in, I was like, oh, this would be great to see him. I want to experience it all. Until my swim coach kind of pulled me over to the kayak and said, hey, there's a couple. And I was like, I don't care, couple of anything, couple of goldfish, and I'm done. Sure. This is already when I was struggling on day 4, hard to breathe, and before they pulled me out.
Right.
You say a couple of jellyfish? No, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I pulled myself up on the kayak and looked over, and I had no idea what they look like. I didn't do my proper research.
They're real stringy looking, right?
They're it's like picture a plastic, like translucent, glowing grocery bag on top of the ocean.
Really?
And they're creepy alien.
And they can actually kill you, right?
Yes, they're a cousin of the box jellyfish, the blue box jellyfish, which I think is the most deadliest.
Okay.
And they're not technically a jellyfish. But the fun fact about just jellyfish in general or that family is once you get stung by them, you get more immune to them as you go. So my year or 2 of training, I was like, well, I just need to get stung by them. I become immune, get a superpower to them.
Right?
But I saw them on day 4 and thought, no, there's no way. And we just eventually turned left and away from them because they're just going to go with the current. But just being able to be in the water with them was like, well, there's, I guess, another.
Okay, so shark, man of war, then hit by a car.
Yeah, barracuda in there one place. But I mean, I didn't know it was a barracuda till like 3 months after.
Oh, thank goodness.
I named him Harold the harmless barracuda, until I knew he was actually a barracuda. I'm like, oh, they're mean.
Yeah, they are.
But he was cool. He just circled me and he became my friend for a little bit. You know, there's a lot of turtles. But the swim was gorgeous. I just tried to take him a stride and become very naive to the dangers. And that's the only way to get through it.
Right.
Hit by a car on day 2. I had this, not a Huffy, it was this incredible, like, it's the Tesla of bikes.
Well done, Justin!
Very out of my capacity to ride, just way out of my wheelhouse. It was so hard to ride in the first place. It was so advanced. Sagebrush Cyclery here in town donated it to me.
Oh, cool.
And just, it was incredible. Hardly even trying, and you'd go 30 miles per hour.
Now, when you say the Tesla, you just mean being top of the line.
Yes.
It wasn't electric.
No.
Because that's cheating.
I wish.
That would be so cheating.
But it had Bluetooth for the gears. I could change the programming on my phone.
Wow.
You had to charge it, so the gears were electric, but not the drive.
You actually had to pedal.
Yeah, I had to pedal.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but it was just incredible. So getting hit on that bike it was heartbreaking. I thought it was done. It was over with, but I was able to sacrifice myself, lay down the bike, and then just take the brunt force of the car. She eventually just threw her hands up like, where'd you come from? And then drove off. Day 2, we're on kind of the side highways, which legally we're allowed to be there. And just scary to know you have semis flying past you. And
sure.
I'm getting brushed off the road on day 1 or 2, just getting used to the aero bars on that bike. And it's like Caddyshack. I'm getting blown off into the grass, like bouncing around.
Right. Holy smokes.
It was wild. And that was only 2 days in, and knowing I had to get back on this and keep going for another 2,800 miles or so. And
how long would you bike per day?
I would start at sunrise and then go till my lights died at night. So I had a couple lights on the bike and would just go till they died. Sometimes it was 11. Sometimes it was 2 in the morning.
Sleeping in a van or a truck or something?
We had an
RV or
RV
something?
Yeah, we had an RV. So I just
That's the way to do it, right?
I'd crawl up into there, pass out, and then carry the bikes out in the morning. And
any other accidents on the bike ride?
No.
Oh,
no,
good.
Not
good.
really. No. So that was surprising.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Then how did the run go? Once you get to San Diego, now you're going to run up the coast of California.
The run is what I look forward to, because the bike, issues with pop tires, and you think a Huffy back in the day, you could run over, barbed wire and you're good.
Sure.
But this was popping quite a bit. And so I got food poisoning in Texas and heat stroke at the same time.
This was on the bike ride.
Yeah, in Texas. So that was brutal. That was a rough day.
That's not good.
That was a rough day. And so I thought, man, once I hit the run, I'm going to be good. I'm not going to, I don't have to worry about the bike breaking. All I have to do is worry about myself breaking. And I feel like I'm a pretty mentally tough person. I'll push through any pain. But 100 miles into the run, fractured my foot, stress fractures. And then that
just from running.
Yeah, just from running.
Okay.
And, I had a huge hot spot in my foot from biking that just happened from the cleat being in the wrong place.
Oh.
And
that's kind of like a bruise or something?
Yeah, and easy to get a blister there. So,
sure.
Day 2, my foot blew up into this huge blister. I pulled a lot of the skin off, which I shouldn't have, and it is a gnarly foot video. Probably sell that video for foot people for quite a bit.
Oh, really?
Pretty
disgusting. Messed up. Okay.
But, and it just opened up this huge, gaping wound in my foot. And that obviously was in concern for infection. I started walking on the side of my foot because I couldn't put pressure on the bottom anymore.
Right.
And the fractures were there, and it just was better. And by the time I hit LA, only to LA, and I lost feeling in my foot. My foot was stuck. My left one was stuck at a 90-degree angle because I was just walking on it sideways. So it was stuck, and I couldn't move it.
Oh, no.
I woke up, and I'm about 3 feet from the bathroom, and I couldn't step on it. I couldn't move.
Oh, wow.
And so we ended up getting crutches, and I started crutching my way up the coast, and they lasted for maybe an hour, if that. And I just forget this. Threw them in the van, and I was like, I'm just going to bite down and run.
Wow.
And so that was the next 500 miles with a fractured foot. I pulled a tendon in my right big toe, the pelvis brevis or something like that.
Huh.
And it was just
that
constant.
Sounds painful.
That was worse than the fracture. The fracture, I can handle the blunt pain, but that tendon, once you get to about Big Sur area, I ran all the way up Highway 1, so at least...
I was going to ask, did you take one all the way up?
All the way up, yeah.
Awesome.
So while I'm suffering, I at least get a look to the left, and it's just epic coastlines.
Right.
I just wanted to make it as beautiful as possible. The curve in the road, it's just at a giant 45-degree angle almost, and it just beat my foot up. And then about 300 miles in, I got a staph infection on my legs.
Oh, no.
That rapidly spread. So if you don't know staph, it's extremely life-threatening.
Right, I was going to say, you can die from that, right?
Yeah. So I kept going and thought, well, now I have a timer. Now I have to finish this very quick before this spreads and gets more than what I can manage. And eventually got to the point where I had to go to the emergency room around Pismo Beach.
Wow.
And got some oral and topical ointment, some antibiotics, and just kept pushing on.
Just kept going.
So it was one thing after the next.
Did you sleep for like 3 weeks after you got to the other side of the Golden Gate?
No.
You weren't worn out?
I finished Thursday morning, June 16th, and I had a buddy running in Tahoe. He was doing a 200-mile race in Tahoe, and he needed somebody to come out there and run with him overnight. So I went and ran with him for about 20 miles on Sunday up in Tahoe, and it was just gorgeous. I think I was still on a high from it, where I didn't feel the pain yet.
Right.
And I think I just got used to the pain. My feet were hurt. The staph kind of started going down a bit, so I could manage it, but just gorgeous. I just love being out there in nature,
Wow.
After having cars fly by me for 600 miles, to be out there on the Tahoe Rim Trail at sunrise almost made me cry. It was just like, man, this is what life is about.
Well, so far you sound kind of crazy, Justin. Yeah. We're going to take a super quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about why you went through all this.
Yes.
And some other things. We're talking to Justin True, a hybrid athlete that's a little crazy. We just heard about his journey. We'll tell you why he did this right after this.